Hello out there. I'm glad to have you join us on this program once again. Have you ever wondered why we make expressions such as "come on board," "I'm feeling blue," or "all hands on deck"? These are all nautical terminologies that have found their way into our daily English language. Please add yours to the list. Pass the fun around as we continue on the voyage today. Nimasa this week. I remain your anchor on the program, Moyioluwa Olutayo. You're welcome on board.
Vessel operating coastal voyage in Nigeria must mandatorily have on board the following: vessel logbook, vessel port of call, vessel particulars, which include registry certificates, safety equipment certificates such as safe manning certificates, builder certificates, load line certificates, tonnage certificates, radio certificate, insurance certificates, classification certificates, passenger ship safety certificate, service certificate, cargo ship certificate, and waiver certificates or receipts. Vessel owners, captains, shipping agents, and members of the public are advised to note and comply.
The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has described the marine insurance industry as a low-hanging fruit available for investors to explore. The minister, who spoke during the 2024 National Insurance Brokers Conference, noted that Nigeria has the potential of becoming the hub of marine insurance business in Africa.
Nigeria has maritime trade. Historically, generating substantial revenue, as evidenced by the 1891 British record of £615 million. Despite having over 10,000 kilometers of connecting canal channels, only 3,500 kilometers is currently navigable, indicating significant road for development. These channels, spanning from the west to the east and from the east to the north central, present prime opportunities for public-private partnerships to flourish. Initiatives such as developing jetties and facilitating the movement of goods and food from the north to the south, as well as transporting mineral resources from mining locations and facilitating easy weather transportation from the wind belts to Apapa for export, demonstrate the vast potential of economic growth and commercial activities.
Oyetola was also at the course 33 of the National Defense College, where he presented a paper on strengthening institutions for national security and development in Nigeria.
We must invest in human capital development through specialized training, programs designed for domestic capacity, maritime operations, fishery management, and marine engineering. This is crucial for creating a skilled workforce and employer employment opportunities and better sustainability within the sector.
All ships transiting through Nigerian waters are advised to report any suspicious sightings, attempted boarding, and attacks to the Nimasa C4I Operational Center. The Nimasa C4I Operational Center can be contacted on the anti-piracy hotline +234 9151 200 000. Email is c4icenter@nimasa.gov.ng. Telephone +234 9151 300 000. WhatsApp +234 9151 300 000.
The program is Nimasa this week. We welcome all our esteemed viewers who are just joining us on the program. The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has continued engaging stakeholders to fashion out the best model to adopt in harnessing the country's maritime potentials. This week in Lagos, the Permanent Secretary, Directors, and Chief Executives of agencies under the ministry engaged with the renowned maritime lawyer, Olisa Agbakoba Legal. Stay with us.
Officials of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, led by the Permanent Secretary who represented the Honorable Minister, had a frank session with officials of Olisa Agbakoba Legal, led by Olisa Agbakoba SAN. Discussions focused on how Nigeria can sustain and enhance its achievements in the industry. The Chief Executive Officers of the MPA, Nimasa, and the Shippers Council were all in attendance. The Permanent Secretary, Mr. Olufemi Oloruntola, set the ball rolling.
The Ministry in several engagements with your entity. Before now, I attempted to decipher exactly where and how to engage with you. We've made attempts to have this meeting much earlier than now. Thank God, the day has come. Today we want to listen to you, and we are hopeful that perhaps we will be able to digest your submissions. It is on that note that I urge you to be frank, forthright, I like that, and be positively objective.
The invitation for a frank session from Oloruntola was heeded by Olisa Agbakoba SAN. He engaged the chief executives one after the other, starting with the NPA.
Or the NPA. I was at the beginning of determining the question whether NPA is a landlord or service port. We were not clear. As you know, before our great president, no matter the criticism one offers OBJ is a giant, he understood what Deng Xiaoping understood. So, in spite of the fantastic achievements of Mao Zedong, it was Deng Xiaoping's policy of opening up China that makes China what it is today. I make this point in relation to President Obasanjo. He understood Nigeria required to be opened. So he established BPE. When I think there was an error conceptually, he was making BPE the be it and end all of everything to do with privatization and commercialization.
I will say to you here categorically that in the last 6 months, I have been in discussion with the group CEO of NNPC. Now, his argument is always that, number one, the terms of sales of the crude oil is what needs to be changed first. The second point, in which he has raised with me several times, is that, look, if we change the terms of sales from FOB to CIF, where are the Nigerian companies going to get funding for to buy the vessels? What am I saying? It needs to be directed from above, and all those terms to be changed. And that is what I am actually working on. It's not going to be a one-day solution to get to it. Most of these crudes, as you may have known, are forward sales. They've been tied up for the next 3, 4 years, 5 years, some of them. So we need to engage them now so that future sales would not be on FOB or CIF.
So ideally it would have been that the Nigerian Port Authority, after the 2006 concluded reforms by Obasanjo, would have put things in place in a way that our capacity and efficiency will have gone beyond our boundaries. If these bigger players are coming here, we have them here. We have MSC, is number 2 in the world. We have APMT, is number 1 in the world. We have ICTSL, is number 9 in the world. So they are here, but they have refused to put in real money in developing expansion and growth. How do you expand in our capacity? Is by building new, deeper, bigger seaport. It took Nigerian Port Authority 11 years to look for money to build Lekki Port. We have gone to all part of Europe, we've gone to Canada, we've gone to everywhere. Nobody wanted to bring in money because they had so serious issues about instability, inconsistency, political tension, pressures of security, and so on and so forth. The only people that agreed to come at some point were the Chinese.
After a detailed discussion with the Nigerian Ports Authority, the focus shifted to Nimasa. The DG, Dr. Dayo Mubariola, also had his time with the Learned Silk.
We cannot move ahead without talking about national maritime policy. We cannot. That's the first step that we need to look at, because that is where the framework of the planning, develop and the guidelines for the planning and development of the sector would come from, and that is really the key. So I would want to suggest that we focus on that as our first plan, to have a robust national maritime policy.
The session on Nimasa was quite intensive, considering ongoing efforts to reform the industry through the legislature. The operations of the Nigerian Shippers Council were reviewed vis-a-vis areas that need improvement.
Was being moved from here to Port Harcourt for export. Virtually all the inland ports have collapsed. And another thing that shouldn't be in Shippers Council is dry ports. It's a function for the NPA. Anything port, anything, once you say port, it stands to reason that it is the NPA. And I think there are about 8 or 6 or 7 now. It's the NPA. So you can have sea, you can have dry. Not the Shippers Council. Shippers Council should be economic.
There is no agency in this sector that can just stand alone. You have to work together in collaborative effort to be able to drive the policy of the sector. And there are other agencies that are outside the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, but we work together in synergy. And we must have to strengthen that synergy and collaboration. And there must also be a coordination center where everybody understands that this is the role. Sometimes roles may overlap, but it's for complementarity. It's not for tough territory protections that we draw everybody down. It is for complementarity, to work together in synergy to be able to achieve the overall mandate that is given to each one of us. What about direct routes? We need to also start thinking. I'm happy we're talking about national shipping lines. Today, it is difficult for us to have direct connectivity. For instance, you see a ship coming from Shanghai port, for instance, to Apapa may take about 26 days or 28 days maximum to get here. But when it gets here and it picks cargo, it will have to go to other places, one stop after the other. By the time it gets there, remember we are promoting export so that we can have balance of trade. But then, when it takes that cargo, before it gets to destination, it may take like a month or 2. Sometimes those cargo are perishable. So we have every need to begin to look at how we can establish new direct connectivity between all the major markets, global markets. So all of this will have to be in the policy. Following the policy will be the legal frameworks and then the issues of collaboration and coordination.
After about 3 hours of deliberations, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Olufemi Oloruntola, had this to say.
Let me, especially on behalf of the Honourable Minister, thank you most sincerely for your tenacious disposition of not wavering, insisting that this engagement was necessary. We very well needed it. We knew we needed it. It's just that exigencies didn't allow us up until now to have it. Like I said earlier when we started, thank God this day came. We will report back to His Excellency, and I'm certain, I can assure you, he's eager and waiting for very positive ways forward.
The Nimasa Stevedoring Regulation 2014 is applicable to all persons engaged in stevedoring works, including dock labor employers and private operators of any work location, including ports, jetties, onshore and offshore oil and gas terminals, bonded terminals, dry ports and platforms within the Nigerian Exclusive Economic Zone. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, has issued a marine notice warning terminals, jetties, and international oil companies involved in stevedoring activities to desist from employing unregistered dock workers. Affected parties are advised to apply for new operating licenses or renew expired ones, as stipulated by the Nimasa Act 2007, within 30 days. Non-compliance within the 30-day window may result in severe penalties, including the sealing of operational areas of prosecution, as stated in Nimasa Stevedoring Regulations of 2014. For further information, stakeholders are advised to visit the Nimasa website at www.nimasa.gov.ng.
The program is still Nimasa this week, and as you all know, stakeholders' views is now a regular on the program. We shall now serve you divergent views of stakeholders about enhancing safety in the Nigerian maritime industry. We start off this week with the President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Adewale Adeyonju. Stay with us.
My concern is about the safety of our workers, our members, on various vessels, either in dock workers, either in seafaring, either in everywhere. Their safety first. Before you become anything in this world, if you don't take care of your domestic workers properly by giving them safety, how do you expect them to drive? Safety first. Safety is the order of the day. And you must make sure that you ensure that all the workers, both on board and ashore, and even at the terminals, where the right of those workers will be adequately protected.
The team this year is very apt, navigating the future. What do we mean navigating the future? I will speak as WISTA president. WISTA, we are concerned about the safety of our seafarers because we have female captains, female pilots, female engineers who go on board every day, and their safety is very paramount to us. So we want to say, as we're lending our voice to the team by HMO this year, navigating the future, that in navigating the future, the safety of the female seafarer should take the front burner.
The management of Nimasa has continued to grow capacity for the integrated national security and waterways protection infrastructure, popularly called the Deep Blue Project. The Director, Joint Services Department of the Ministry of Defense, Mrs. Bosede Olaniyi, was in Lagos to attend the graduation ceremony of officers who just concluded a purpose-structured drill session in maritime security. Stay with us.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency recently conducted trainings for personnel involved in the Deep Blue Project, a significant initiative aimed at enhancing maritime security in Nigeria's waters and the Gulf of Guinea. The 4-week drill session included special mission vessels and interceptor boat mechanic training with participants drawn from the Nigerian Navy.
The special mission vessel training commenced with the familiarization of the graduating personnel and their instructors. Thereafter, there was a theoretical session which helped the personnel better acquaint themselves with the ship, as well as safety, positions and all the equipment in case of emergencies. Furthermore, the seamen were exposed to the various sensors on board this sophisticated platform, some of which include the electronic chart display and information system, the radar, the dynamic positioning system. This was all done considering the system's unique capabilities for the safe navigation of the ships.
The training is part of Nimasa's ongoing commitment to bolstering national and regional maritime safety by equipping personnel with the skills and knowledge necessary to combat security threats such as piracy, illegal fishing, and other unlawful activities. The Director of the Joint Services Department of the Ministry of Defense, Mrs. Bosede Olaniyi, was in Lagos for the graduation ceremony of the men and officers who had just acquired new skills to enhance the security of the Nigerian maritime domain.
I had the opportunity since yesterday upon arriving in Lagos to go around some of the very good facilities that we have. And this once again made me proud to be a Nigerian. Very, very passionate about ensuring that we have safety on the waterways, safety in the maritime domain, to ensure that all our men are up to speed in terms of their training.
Nimasa's dedication to enhancing maritime security through this training reflects Nigeria's broader objectives to secure its blue economy and foster a safer maritime environment, contributing to sustainable growth in the region. The Integrated National Security and Waterways Protection Infrastructure, popularly called the Deep Blue Project, is jointly implemented by the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and is domiciled with Nimasa.
The overall objective of the project is to boost maritime security and create the enabling environment for Nigeria to achieve its full maritime potentials under the guidance of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. I am most delighted to note that the key objectives of the Deep Blue Project, which includes building of a swift response capability and robust maritime domain awareness, has been achieved over the years. I'm also highly elated to reiterate that the gains recorded by the project has continued to yield positive results, as shown by the removal of Nigeria from the global piracy list.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
That's our package for today. I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of the voyage on the program. Until we meet again on the same platform next week, same time, same station, keep keeping on and keep sailing towards that desired goal. Bye for now.